Well, I'm in an alleyway in downtown Los Angeles right now to interview Stixxay. Stixxay, what do you think of this alleyway?
It's pretty cool. I'm glad you found me walking on the streets by myself and
Yeah.
just decided to ask for an interview.
Yeah. And I carry these red chairs with me. I don't actually know if they're in the frame, but there's red chairs we're sitting on. And I carry them with me at all times just in case I need to interview someone. So I'm glad that I was able to pull this together. No, Stixxay, so I've had a chance to interview several of your teammates. I will start off with the same question I asked them, which is, what has this offseason been like for you, and how involved were you in all the changes that took place with your team?
So this off season was a bit different than the past ones for me. I guess more so because a lot of time I felt like I wasn't on off season. So I mean, I had a bit of a break, but a lot of times I was stressing out like, all right, is our roster going to stay together? Are we going to have to find new people and stuff? And once it finally came to the fact that like, okay, Afro's not going to re-sign with us, um, I had to figure out like who am I going to play with. I was given a few options. I do a queue with a lot of people, trying to just figure it out. I talked to them. I gave feedback to my coaches what I thought about them and stuff like that. And in the end, it came down to being Biofrost, and I think we made the right choice. So yeah, but it was a bit more stressful than the other off seasons because I wasn't sure what I was going to get. So
Biofrost first came into the LCS by playing with your CLG predecessor, Doublelift. Now he's playing with you. So you often frequently play with Doublelift's previous supports. Is this an issue for you? Do you have to like train them out of the bad habits he's taught them?
uh, not necessarily. I mean, I think there are some habits. I think they're very like lane focused players, which I think can change a little. Just from I think Double Flex supports to play with them a lot in lane. Not necessarily a bad thing, but yeah, I think yeah, and I more so just want people to play how they want to play, and I'll kind of adapt to it. So I don't really mind whatever they want to do. I just want them to be happy as doing what they want to do and what they're best at. So
Yeah. Given that, I mean, I'd always heard that Bio, the way they kind of worked was that he received a lot of instruction and just kind of did what he was told, for lack of a better phrase. And you're saying that you kind of want him to develop his own kind of play style and come up with his own thing. Do you think that's going to be hard for him or weird? It's certainly a little different, right?
yeah, it's definitely different, and I think, I mean, the moment I talked about it, he told me, I want to be more of a leader in the team. I want to do more, not just be like this guy just that falls around the AD carry, stuff like that. And I think he's already done a really good job. So he knows, not only does he know what he wants to do, he knows how to do it, and he just kind of gets it done. So with him, it wasn't like a really big learning curve. It was like, all right, Bio's trying to play a different way. We got to wait for him to catch up with us guys, but he just knew how to do it. So it was really easy to transition into. So.
So many people talking about Team Liquid TSM, Cloud9. Not as many people talking about CLG this year. What do you think of that? And do you think that it's a mistake on their part to, not think of CLG as a potentially major player, a very interesting story?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of natural with given how things have been going for us the past couple splits. I mean, obviously we haven't been like great team to look out for. We're just kind of been there, I think. And of course, every split we're trying our best to be that team that's just like, oh, watch out for these guys. But it's just been hard. And I think, yeah, this split, I don't know. I think it's given a lot of new perspective for all of our players. And I think everyone's really has something to prove. I feel like everyone came in with kind of like, me and Bio were like overshadowed by our veterans. Rainover came off a really bad year. Then Hui and Darshan actually came off a pretty good year, but they weren't winning, so it doesn't really mean anything. So I think everyone comes in with something to prove, and so I think that's something to look out for.
Yeah. For you, do you feel like Darshan kind of insinuated that he feels a sense of he needs to help, Biofrost get a little bit of a revenge against TSM, maybe Rainover have a little bit of a redemption story. Do you feel that incentive, or is it more just sort of your own goals and your own motivations?
I think for me, since I've been on CLG for past 2 years, I don't really have like a revenge I want to get, right? So for me, it's more so I just want to solidify CLG as a top team like we used to be. And I mean, obviously, like I said, we've been trying in the past couple years. It's just really hard to do. But like I said, with new perspective and stuff like that, I think we have a much better chance this year. And of course, I just want to help my teammates. I want Bio to have revenge against CSM. I want Rainover to have a really good season, so he can prove himself as the best again. So,
In 2016, I feel like when people talked about the top 2 or 3 AD carries, your name was talked about frequently. I don't feel like that was the case in 2017. How are you looking to change that in 2018?
Well, I mean, I think in 2017, like I said, naturally, just because we were losing, people don't really look at the losing teams too much. Yeah. And I mean, I guess we were never really a losing team. We were top 3 and 4. But, I mean, I still think I performed pretty well all through 2017. Maybe besides, like, my last playoff series was not very great. But besides that, I still think I had a good year. In 2018, yeah, I think it'll help that I have a chance to kind of step up and do things on my own terms now. And instead of just, like, being overshadowed by my support player who was after me. And, yeah, I feel like I have kind of like a shot at redemption just to prove, I'm good by myself. Yeah. So.
Yeah, what is the difference in dynamic between Aftermoon and Biofrost? Because I assume that that's very, very different. I mean, I always felt like Zach was a very opinionated player. I know we kind of already brushed on this, but Biofrost, Vincent being much quieter. So what is it like for you? And you it sounds like you felt like you were a little overshadowed.
So from my perspective about Frost, I mean, he came into the team. He wants to be more vocal and stuff like that, but he didn't want to be like a primary shot caller. Yeah. And we're like, yeah, that's cool. Like, that's not what we're expecting of you. And but I mean, we started scrimming with him, and he's shot calling. And me and Tony are like, I mean, he's doing our shot calling, but he says he's not a shot caller. So we're not really sure what's going on. So I think maybe he just underestimated the role of being a shot caller. But I mean, he's filling the roles that Aftermoon had, and I think he's also just playing a lot better individually on top of it. So yeah, I have pretty high hopes for him. Yeah.
A lot of people are expecting TSM Team Liquid to be the top 2 teams out the gate potentially. Where do you think CLG will be at the start of the split?
I think at the start of the split, it's kind of hard to tell. I think there's a chance, we start out really strong. There's a chance we start at like kind of average, and we slowly like power up as the split goes on. But I think with how scrims are going now, we will be top 3 in spring. For sure, and I think summer hopefully we'll finish first. So
Darshan said top 1.
Yeah, Darshan's an ambitious person. Yeah. But I'm having high hopes as well. Okay. But I think sometimes things can take a little time. So
very good. When will do you think, what are the chances we see CLG return to MSI this year versus Worlds?
Well, I hope we make it to both events, because that's something that makes me really sad, is not going to international events, and we haven't gone to one since last Worlds. Yeah. And so it felt really sad to kind of watch Worlds on the sidelines. But yeah, like I said, I think the chances are pretty high. I think Worlds is pretty much a guaranteed with this roster if we just keep up what we're doing. And MSI, like I said, it's hard to tell with spring split. I think we have a pretty good start where we're starting now, but I don't know how all the other teams are, so it'll just have to wait and see. Yeah.
I asked a couple of your teammates, besides TSM, Team Liquid, Cloud9, and CLG, which a lot of people consider to be a pretty solid top 4 prediction, there's the other 6 teams. If you had to pick a dark horse from those guys to overperform people's expectations, maybe get in the top 3, do really well, who would you pick?
Let me see. So there's
100 Thieves, Echo Fox,
okay,
Bone Guardians, Optic.
No. Okay. Got it. Okay, so I think it's going to be Echo Fox or 100 Thieves. Okay. For sure. I don't know which one. I think it could be either. I think Echo Fox is, like everyone's saying, it could be really good or it could be really bad. 100 Thieves, I think, is a little more stable roster. Yeah. And they have a chance. They're like the outside team that has a possibility to make it in.
Is there anything that you want to say to any of the CLG fans out there?
Thank you guys for all the support. Hope you guys will continue supporting us in our new roster. I know it's a bit different, but appreciate it. And make sure to check out our new jerseys on store.sealgaming.net.
You're the only person on your team that remembered the jersey thing. Good job. You should ask for a raise. Thank you so much for the interview. For everyone else, you can check out the rest of my coverage of all things esports right here on my YouTube channel. A lot of people asked me if I was joking. A lot of people asked me whenever I said that other thing about Double F charging me $5,000 for an interview, if that was real. No, it was an obvious joke. He charges me $10,000 an interview. Please help me out. TravisGafford.com/support.